Alright, we are back on the game. First thing I want to say is just I noticed the other day that on this loading screen, I didn't, or the main menu, I didn't notice before somehow. I think it's because of a bandana. Snake looks so fucking good here. He looks amazing in this shot. I think it is a bandana, that's why I only noticed it now. Something about the bandana really adds to it. But he looks so fucking good. Like the graphics fidelity, but also the lighting on his face and all the texture on it. It looks so fucking raw. For some reason, I love it. I got a really good screenshot of it the other day. Anyway. Let's go. I know. Alright, I graduated yesterday. That was a thing. Alright. We had a bunch of FOBs upgrades. So we still need to recruit 200 people. Best part of 200 people? Yeah. And we could go even further with that if we wanted to. The medical team is a good one. Okay, let's upgrade, or actually... Okay, we're low on money right now. Yeah, I'll leave it, because we're low on money and we need more recruits anyway. What are we working on? It's been a day, so I've forgotten everything. The shotguns of this game is weird because, like, there's no reason to use a shotgun in this game over a sniper or an assault rifle. An assault rifle is objectively better because it's just more ammo efficient. Like, an assault rifle can kill an enemy in one headshot, whereas a shotgun is still going to need the headshot. But it carries way less ammo, so you really should just go with a shotgun. Right, now if I remember correctly, we took out Quiet after a little bit of effort. I don't want to do these missions. I don't want to. What we need to go do is save the kids in Africa. So this is probably going to take a while because we got to go here and then all the way to the other end of the map here as well. Which one do we want to start at? Oh, let's start with oil field. Alright. Sorry, D-Dog. It was fun to have you back for one mission, but goodbye. Bum, 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 bum. Shoop. Drop that. Bim, bom. Okay. Hang on, I need to customize that. Yeah, okay. that a grenade launcher attachment? How did I get this? When did I unlock this? I'll take it, but how did I unlock it? When did I get this? I'll add it. Fuck yeah. But how did I get it? I genuinely don't know. Alright, awesome. So we have a grenade launcher attachment. When did I get that? I don't know when I got that. Okay, good thing I checked that. I don't know what I did to get that. Maybe it's not a development thing. Maybe it's some kind of mission or something. Maybe we got it for beating quiet. I have no fucking clue. The way I thought it works is that any like yellow unlock there is then applied across all your weapons. Oh, this was my go-to rifle in my first playthrough. Right. Let's go save some children. Oh yeah, we can Fulton kids now, can't we? Wait, I didn't check Bambatov. Wait, let's just check. Do we have anything on Bambatov? I imagine attaching a... Holy shit, you can. I don't think we need this on a sniper rifle, considering it's a sniper rifle. So, to be frank, this does actually kind of make sense. Fuck it, sure. So now we have 14 on 2 weapons, so that's 28 grenades. Fuck yeah. Alright. Remember when I unlocked that system and I was like, yeah, it doesn't really do anything for you. I don't know what the fuck I was on about. Oh, turn game up. I think my TV's speakers might be dying, because I was on Minecraft earlier and the music was like, it was peaking the audio, it was going zzz. Or maybe the song was just not mastered properly. Sorry. Oh, we finally have a grenade launcher. What if there's any other underbarrel? How did I get it? I don't know how I got it. I wonder what other underbarrel upgrades there are. Because obviously the whips are quite boring. Yeah, when you press triangle to switch between them. So cool. Right, we're in the middle of a bunch of assignments. Maybe we go from one of these.
Be careful down there, boss.
So imagine if I was developing something that said it had an underbarrel upgrade, I would have noticed it. Bim. Bong. Considering the fact that to get there we'd have to go through at least one other base to get there, I might just chop them up and get them separately. But then we get a lot less money. What's the reward for each? 140, okay. Shit, hello.
Boss, you need to find those kids who escaped. Fighting's still the only way of life they know. If we don't bring them back, they'll just end up getting killed.
Thing is, you want to mark the dummies just so that they don't trick you on the biosensor. Yeah, they're too far gone. Oh well.
Fire!
Your problem. Our gunship is a problem. Our grenades, from what I recall, these grenades are not quite as strong as a regular grenade launcher. So I'm not going to take out that helicopter real fast, but it's one of the weaker helicopters. So you should be able to make quick work of it. That's a car, that's great.
You gonna extract him?
Yeah, your problem. Wish we could take you out without when I was hearing. She has 3 good eyes.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Spit it out. Where are your friends?
Wait, we can fault in you now, right?
He's coming too. Roger that. Okay, subject is in.
We could just ignore the rest of the base. But that's not my style. Well,
You gotta extract him.
he didn't start talking.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. He's coming too. Roger that.
Who is he gesturing to? The neighbours are doing some work or something, and for some reason it sounds like they're in our house. It's really unsettling. There are no dead friendlies. Oh no, yes, there's one guy I shot, yeah. There. Wyatt, you're not doing a lot, are you? You have eyes. Okay, and now he suddenly has eyes in the back of his head.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Where are the others?
He's coming too.
Alright, this will be interesting. Base development unit is actually developing materials quick, so we actually do still want to pick up containers. Alright. Let's go. You ain't getting away from me. And people died. Thing is, I don't know, were the online parts of this game Kojima's idea or Konami's idea? Because the thing is, I kind of assumed they were Konami, because they're shit. And generally with Kojima's, I think is good ideas, bad execution, if it is bad execution. I rarely find that Kojima has just straight up bad ideas from the get-go. But then I just realised the online features of this game vaguely feel like Death Stranding. Obviously, there's a big difference, but in the way they're kind of handled, I mean, you never actually meet another player, but you still feel their presence and you still kind of interact with them in a way. That, in a lot of ways, is the same thing. The way that the main way you interact with other players is notifications on the left side of the screen. Where's the car we found? think I'm willing to take my time with stuff today because pretty sure we only have like maybe 4 story missions left in the game. Considering the current ratio is 2 challenge missions for every actual story mission. And the actual story missions have been quite short, and I can tell you now, I know the remaining story missions coming up, I know they are quite short. I don't remember how you get the thing where it like goes through the whole chronology of the series, but I want to get that again. Because obviously, I had no clue about what any of it meant the first time I played the game, but now I do.
Left, buddy. Speak. Where are your friends?
It kind of irks me that the YouTube algorithm, when it looks at what videos to recommend you, it also looks at your own content. So the moment I started playing this game, I started getting Metal Gear videos in my feed. It's like I've not watched any Metal Gear videos in quite a while, and suddenly it's now filled with Phantom Pain shorts. It is kind of annoying, because it means that if you're streaming the game, YouTube will go out of its way to try to spoil it for you. It's really bothersome that YouTube does that, and at the same time sends you emails for YouTube gaming and acts like it's all hip and down with the kids and the gamers, and it's like, no, fuck you. You actively try to ruin my experience just to maximise your fucking ad revenue. Man, in the rain it's even harder to tell decoys apart. Why did they choose specifically Metal Gear Solid 3 for remake? I thought the general perception of the franchise was that Metal Gear Solid 2 was the best one. Or at least had the best story. I think it's that 2 has the best story and 3 is the best gameplay. Though I would contest 3 on to an extent. Man, this is funny. Right, that's a troublemaker, so I don't think I want him. You know what would be a fun idea, which I'm surprised they don't seem to have in this game? It'd be an awesome thing, and it makes a lot of sense. If there was an underbarrel which was just a sniper shot, but it automatically went off whenever you fire. Basically meaning whenever you fire twice. So if an enemy has a helmet on, it blows off the helmet and then also hits them. That'd be so fucking cool. Oh shit, he landed a shot.
Speak. Where are your friends?
I was hoping that distracted.
Extract him. He's coming too. Roger that. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. Extract him. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
I wish the, like, therapists and, like, professions could, like, turn troublemakers into positive talents or something. Like, that'd be awesome as a thing, but at least I don't think it is.
Subject on board.
Fuck was that noise? Shooting nothing fucking all along.
Where are the others?
Alright, so next.
He's coming too. Roger that.
didn't really need to do that. Wyatt can get in position. Actually, these guys aren't very great. Do you think, Wyatt?
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Spit it out. Where are the others?
You gonna extract him?
Spit it out. Where are your friends?
How the fuck do I get a wormhole? I really thought we would have it by now.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Oh, there's a mission there. Gonna need a supply drop. Hot. Dizzily darn. Oi. Okay, we don't want to be killing here. Oh my god. Do we know where prison is? Yeah, I don't feel like playing the game properly. Yeah, they're good shots. Stop being sexist.
Where are your friends?
He's coming too. Roger that.
Speak. Where are your friends?
They have pretty good shots. I might need to tell her to stand down.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Speak. Where are your friends?
And now we just magically know where I am over here. What the fuck? This is a fucking game. Thank you. Hold on.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Speak. Where are the others?
Didn't say base captured.
You gotta extract him. He's coming through.
Where are the others?
You gotta extract him. He's coming too. Roger that. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Spit it out. Where are the others?
I probably should be checking these people to see they're troublemakers before I fault them.
You gonna extract him? Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
I don't know where the diamonds were here exactly.
Stand down!
I don't know why these resources are over here. Or I don't know which resources I picked up. But either way, there's an extra resource drop. Okay, that was my drop.
Cover me!
Is that blood?
He's coming too. Roger that.
Ceasefire!
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Oh, we should be playing cassette tapes.
So what were they doing at Nzoia Badia?
I don't think we ever finished this one.
Facility with all the people laid out in rows.
The abandoned factory Shabani was held in.
It is precisely as you guessed. Black Anna was coding languages into the vocal cord parasites. They infected the subjects with the parasites, then made an incision in the throat to expose the vocal cords. That allowed them to play recordings of a desired language directly to the parasites.
And the parasites learned the languages that way. That's some teaching method. I just don't get how a bunch of bugs had the brain power for it.
They don't. Do not judge them by human standards. They do not learn as a function of intellect.
Then how do they do it?
What language the parasites react to is coded into their genes. You could expose the Japanese strain to English for years, and it would never learn the language and react to it.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Rhythm and structure are different. But what about, say, Spanish and Portuguese? Linguistically, the two are very close.
Yeah, they're both Ibero-Romance languages.
Even so, a Spanish language mating pair exposed to Portuguese will not copulate. Only when they hear Spanish. Only then. And the majority of their offspring will be the same.
So it's a literal case of the mother tongue.
But if that's so, I don't see how the different strains can be created in the first place.
Well, among the many thousands of offspring, there may be just a few that react to Portuguese.
You're talking about...
You gotta extract him.
Correct. Playing the tapes helps to identify the mutant strains. Those specimens are then isolated and bred with one another. From their children, specimens that react more strongly to Portuguese can again be selected and bred. Repeating this process creates a strain that reacts solely to Portuguese and never to Spanish. Mutation and selection. No different to breeding roses.
He's coming too. Roger that. Over the generations, adapting them to languages from all over the world. Must have taken a hell of a lot of patience.
More like patience. Just how many died for this?
There's something I still don't get.
You gotta extract him.
Tell which larvae will react to Portuguese. You'd have to let them develop and then see which copulate. That means you'd need tens of thousands of guinea pigs. There's no way you could do that in a facility that small.
For no
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
You would be right. But there is a more effective selection method when training the vocal cord parasites.
Go on.
It is not only when mating that the parasites listen for language. Shortly before hatching, larvae display markedly increased activity in reaction to particular language. The active eggs can be identified under a black light. So the eggs that react to Portuguese are selectively placed in the throats of subjects. So you see, narrowing down strains that react to the target language is an effective process. Though I'm sure that even so, many lost their lives to create the various strains.
Taken against their will into that dungeon.
There are two reasons for playing the tapes for the parasites. One, to isolate the eggs that respond to the target language. And two, to cause the specimens raised from the selected eggs to mate.
I get how the system works. But why do they respond to language before they even hatch? It's not like they can mate from inside an egg.
It is because the larvae learn the language before hatching.
You mentioned that what language the parasites respond to is hard-coded into their genes, and that they don't have the brain power to actually learn a language. But then you say that the larvae at Nzoia Badia Bulu were learning the languages in the egg. Your story doesn't add up.
Your country is home to a unique songbird. The Japanese bush warbler.
Sure, what of it?
What a beautiful call it has. But no bush warbler can sing it perfectly at the start. As chicks, they can barely chirp at all. They must learn from their parents and other adult birds. Only then can they sing properly and attract females. So naturally, there are individual differences in each bird's call. Though they start on the same footing, each bird is influenced by its teachers.
And the parasites are the same?
Like the birds, the parasites have a genetic predisposition towards a particular language. But while in the egg, the larvae's ears are tweaked by listening to the voice of the host. This tweaking ensures that the grown parasites will react better to the host's speech pattern.
Why would they have an ability like that?
Well, there are distinct regional differences within even the same language. Rare is the language that has no unique dialects. Yes, learning the host's speech pattern before hatching attunes the larvae to whatever twist of pronunciation it will encounter. This adaptive ability is what makes them so formidable.
I see. So a language requires selective breeding, but the parasites can learn dialects by themselves.
Of course, having the egg-stage larvae listen to the tapes in the factory was not meant to teach them. It was more important to use that trait of theirs to identify the mutated strains. As I mentioned earlier,
Is that really accurate enough to use as a weapon? You could wipe out a neighboring ethnic group.
He's coming too. Roger that.
what you say is true. In that sense, they are imperfect as ethnic cleansers. But for his purposes, they are good enough. His objective was not to exterminate any,
You gonna extract him?
but to render the world's lingua franca, English, inert.
This is
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Transport. Before we met you, the boss recovered it from a truck crossing the savannah. Are there metallic archaea inside it?
Yes, the archaea metabolize uranium-235 to subsist. They must be stored inside yellow cake, or they cannot survive.
So those biological traces we took for impurities were actually the real cargo.
Of course, they are deactivated, so they do not trigger a sudden enrichment. They are like baker's yeast. Yet, they do gradually enrich the uranium as they feed. I imagine you detected weapons-grade traces.
Yeah, we did.
And the malachite that was loaded on the truck had traces of uranium in it, too. So that's the flower, huh? Skullface was gonna sell do-it-yourself nuke kits. The uranium-enriching archaea complete with the user's manual. And the ores with the uranium could be sourced by the client or provided by Cypher.
Even the trace amounts buried in common ores can be enriched to weapons-grade uranium by the metallic archaea. Proving that must have been the most important factor of the trials. That and the ability to successfully prevent detonation.
So if the amounts of uranium in the ores are low enough, they can get past any inspection. And you only need a tiny amount of the archaea to act as the yeast. No great challenge to smuggle that either. The first step towards saturating the world with nukes.
His plan. That was not my intention. My only goal in developing the metallic archaea was to save the Dene.
What made you think a tool for creating undetectable nuclear weapons would save your people?
After 70 years, the Dene reclaimed the Navajo nation from which we were banished. We bore all the hardships of poverty, but we were proud to live off the land we called our own. But in the moment the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, everything changed.
I don't get it.
The nuclear arms race between the U.S. and the Soviet Union began with the end of the Second World War. Suddenly, there was a massive demand for uranium, and it was our ill fortune that the ground beneath the Navajo Nation was rich with uranium ore. The Black Ana government set up mine after mine, and many of the Diné worked them, never informed of any danger. Every day, they went to work with no protection. The slag was simply piled out in the open. When rain fell, uranium traces left behind would seep out, and when the ground dried, it was blown about as dust. Land and water were contaminated, irradiated. Many of us became sick and died. Lives on to this day. I had no idea. Wanting more than anything to revive them. No bearers left to me. I was delighted upon discovering microbes that eat uranium. If they could be domesticated, I believed we could rid our land of uranium.
Were you successful?
No. The research called for funding on a colossal scale. But nobody was willing to invest with no prospect of a return.
And that's when Skullface showed up.
Correct. I can save you and your people. We share the same will. That is what he said to me. And I believed him. Black Ana forced me to abandon
You gonna extract him?
uranium cleanup work and focus on nuclear weapons. And he held all the Diné hostage. Today, the uranium mines
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
are finally closing down. It is simply less expensive now to source uranium overseas.
New victims, different places.
But uranium is a tactical resource. To rely on a foreign country for it is a difficult decision to make. And
He's coming too.
was in
Roger that.
the correct place to influence that decision.
He could have condemned your people to the mines forever.
The contamination comes not only from uranium. The fallout
You gonna extract him?
nuclear tests also settled on our land. As if our fortune were not already bad enough. We are also downwinders. To save the Diné, I must complete my original research.
Code Talker. Haven't seen you eat a single thing since you got here. Let me guess. Photosynthesis?
Oh? What makes you say that?
Well, a long time ago, I knew someone with a similar ability.
Well, you are correct. Most of my body is covered with parasites. I supply them with water, and in return I receive sugars they produce when exposed to light.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't just my skin either. The parasites also act as my eyes. They have replaced many of my internal organs as well. It is thanks to them that I live on after over a century.
According to the intel team, the escaped kids should be around here. Locate and secure them.
I would like to say as much, but there is more organs as well. It is thanks to them that I live on after over a century.
How did you obtain them anyway? Through your research?
I would like to say as much, but there is more to it than that. Let me take you back 20 years. I had hit a dead end with my parasite research. Then I was approached by a foundation. They said they had a sample of an unusual strain of parasite.
Which Foundation?
Apparently, they had links to ARPA. But that is all I learned. I was somewhat ignorant of the ways of the world. Just being able to study it was enough for me.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Go on.
Half in doubt, I visited them to discover the body of an old man. Well, to be precise, his partial remains. A collection of parts, you could say. The man had died in an explosion.
An old man, you say?
His flesh had not decomposed. In fact, the tissue's cells were still metabolizing. The parasite had infected, or should I say assimilated with, the tissues, and was keeping them alive. I became obsessed with...
He's coming too.
Body
Roger that.
foregoing food and even sleep. Every day was filled with new discoveries. The parasite's biology, internal anatomy, life cycle. But there was only so much I could learn through observation. And so I made a decision. To truly know the parasites, I had to live with them.
So, you implanted them inside you from the dead man's flesh?
Correct. It was quite a gamble, whether or not they would adapt to me. But fortunately, it appears I was compatible with them. Or perhaps, through my many years of research, my immune system learned to tolerate them.
Were they that body's only...
You gonna extract him?
Yes. However, there was a separate specimen that supplied its host with adrenaline in response to pain, and yet another that could control insects at will through secreting heterogeneous pheromones. I wanted exposure to them, to take them into me, but my wishes were denied. Their records, though, provided clues that helped advance my research. Would you care to join me? A life spent never worrying about food is a most wonderful one.
I think I'll pass. But thanks. This has been helpful.
The one that covers the parasite that lives on the surface of the skull's bodies is what gives them their power, similar to my children who live in my skin. I modified the parasites I isolated from the body of that old man, differentiating them with various abilities.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Into its surroundings by exposing the pigments in its cells at will. Another that, by harboring multiple species of metallic archaea, can oxidize and reduce metal. Isolating the one that covers and transplanting it into an artificial medium should provide the same ability. The skulls, but they can only subsist within a human body. Once transplanted into the medium, they will eventually die. Another thing, the weakness of the one that covers is desiccation. Their surface moisture loss is greater than ours. The reason they give off mist is to alleviate this by releasing the salts inside them as microparticles. Water vapor condenses around them, appearing as mist. But this dries out the atmosphere until they cannot even produce mist. And once their supply of water from the host runs out, the parasites are in danger. They, along with their host, enter a form of suspended animation. However, a similar effect occurs if they come into contact with a large amount of water. Rain, for instance, the one that covers will temporarily abandon other processes in his eagerness to absorb the water. Itihorone. Make the weather your ally.
Roger that.
Talk. Where are the others?
Extract him.
There's something I've been wondering. Why are you called Code Talker? During World War II, the U.S. military used the languages of different tribes, including the Navajo, as codes, right? I know the term Code Talker was used to mean people sent to the battlefield to speak in those codes. Were you one of them?
Our mother tongue was indeed used for war. But I did not go. I was already over the conscription age. However, I was made to help craft the codes that were spoken. So in a wider sense, you could call me a code talker for that. Navajo is a complex language, and virtually no one outside the U.S. speaks it. They must have thought it was the perfect language to use as a code.
Yeah, in the end, the Japanese never cracked it. The cipher is king in information warfare.
Of course, they didn't simply speak in Navajo. They created substitutions for words according to a code book, and then translated those into our language. Young Diné was sent to the front lines of the Pacific Theater as code talkers. To fight is an honor for the Diné. They were the pride of our people. But I cannot say this history brings me joy. Words are alive. When they are spoken, breathe into them. They become a part of the listener. Our words were transformed into lifeless ciphers and used for war. This, after the Black Ana spent generations suppressing the language.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So I guess we shouldn't be calling you Code Talker, huh?
No, I do not mind. The reason Skullface called me Code Talker was because I also am responsible for coding the language into the vocal cord parasites. I am the same as those young warriors, used for a cipher's sake. I must never forget that. The name, Code Talker, is a lesson carved into my being.
You said Skullface ordered you to weaponize the vocal cord parasites. But you also said he wasn't the reason.
And he wasn't. I was seduced by the parasites. That is a fact.
How? You mean from your curiosity as a scientist?
That I cannot deny. But there is more to it. The story goes back to the 19th century, to my earliest memory. One day, a man from the government visited our Hogan, our home. I cried as he yanked me from my mother's arms.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
From that day forward, I became George. This was the name my teacher gave me. I was forced to give up my Diné name, forbidden from speaking anything but English. If we dared utter a word of filthy Navajo, the teaching made us eat a bar of soap.
Yeah. That was the U.S. government's education policy for Native Americans.
You gotta extract him.
To erase our words was like erasing our people. Their education was tantamount to ethnic cleansing. Over time, the overt persecution of our language stopped. But to this day, it continues to be eaten away by the lingua franca, that is English. Many of the Diné outside the reservations can speak nothing else. And it isn't just our language. Across the world, minority languages are being destroyed by dominant
He's coming too.
languages.
Roger that.
Many are on the verge of extinction.
Enter the vocal cord parasites.
Yes, I began thinking that minority languages needed some sort of deterrent against dominant languages. order that their peoples and cultures would survive.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
At the Foundation, claiming that man acquired language thanks to a type of parasite, one that distinguishes between languages.
You gotta extract him.
Precursor to reproduction. If I could just resurrect it, make it more pathogenic, I would have my deterrent against English. But I failed to hide that aim from Skullface. He noticed. Yes, I wanted to retaliate against the English language. Though never did I intend to actually use it as he planned. You know how the story ends. I was forced to study how to make the parasites compatible.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
But English.
However, he in fact secretly isolated an English strain.
I will not be held prisoner by the man's phantom. The English strain must not be allowed to exist either.
I'll be real, I did not catch any of that because we were a bit busy. So I'll re-listen to that one.
Roger that.
Some really interesting stuff I heard there. Something about racism in America.
During World War II, the U.S. military used the languages of different tribes, including the Navajo, as codes, right? I know the term code talker was used to mean people sent to the battlefield to speak in those codes. Were you one of them?
Our mother tongue was indeed used for war. But I did not go. I was already over the conscription age. However, I was made to help craft the codes that were spoken. So in a wider sense, you could call me a code talker for that. Navajo is a complex language, and virtually no one outside the U.S. speaks it. They must have thought it was the perfect language to use as a code.
Boss, about the kids. It appears there's a movement among them to organize against us. I can think of only one person who'd be behind that. I'll continue to look into it.
For words according to a code book, and then translated those into our language, of course.
Yeah, in the end, the Japanese never cracked it.
They must have. So in a wider sense, you could call me a code talker for that. Navajo is a complex language, and virtually no one outside the U.S. speaks it. They must have thought it was the perfect language to use as a code.
Yeah, in the end, the Japanese
Pretty
never
why?
cracked it. The cipher is king in information warfare.
Of course, they didn't simply speak in Navajo. They created substitutions for words according to a code book, and then translated those into our language. Young Diné was sent to the front lines of the Pacific Theater as code talkers. To fight is an honor for the Diné. They were the pride of our people. But I cannot say this history brings me joy. Words are alive. When they are spoken, life is breathed into them. They become a part of the listener. Our words were transformed into lifeless ciphers and used for war. This, after the Black Ana spent generations suppressing the language.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I guess we shouldn't be calling you code talker, huh?
No, I do not mind. The reason Skullface called me code talker was because I also am responsible for coding language into the vocal cord parasites. I am the same as those young warriors, used for a cipher's sake. I must never forget that. The name, Code Talker, is a lesson carved into my being.
You said Skullface ordered you to weaponize the vocal cord parasites. But you also said he wasn't the reason.
And he wasn't. I was seduced by the parasites. That is a fact.
How? You mean from your curiosity as a scientist?
That I cannot deny. But there is more to it. The story goes back to the 19th century, to my earliest memory. One day, a man from the government visited our Hogan, our home. I cried as he yanked me from my mother's arms and took me away to an Indian boarding school. From that day forward, I became George. This was the name my teacher gave me. I was forced to give up my Diné name, forbidden from speaking anything but English. If we dared utter a word of filthy Navajo, the teacher made us eat a bar of soap.
Yeah, that was the U.S. government's education policy for Native Americans.
To erase our words was like erasing our people. Their education was tantamount to ethnic cleansing. Over time, the overt persecution of our language stopped. But to this day, it continues to be eaten away by the lingua franca, that is English. Many of the Diné outside the reservations can speak nothing else. And it isn't just our language. Across the world, minority languages are being destroyed by dominant languages. Many are on the verge of extinction.
Enter the vocal cord parasites.
Yes, I began thinking that minority languages needed some sort of deterrent against dominant languages. In order that their peoples and cultures would survive. It was then that I came across literature at the Foundation claiming that man acquired language thanks to a type of parasite, one that distinguishes between languages as a precursor to reproduction. If I could just resurrect it, make it more pathogenic, I would have my deterrent against English. But I failed to hide that aim from Skullface. He noticed. Yes, I wanted to retaliate, but I failed. Languages needed some sort of deterrent against dominant languages. In order that their peoples and cultures would survive. It was then that I came across literature at the Foundation claiming that man acquired language thanks to a type of parasite, one that distinguishes between languages as a precursor to reproduction. If I could just resurrect it, make it more pathogenic, I would have my deterrent against English. But I failed to hide that aim from Skullface. He noticed. Yes, I wanted to retaliate against the English language, though never did I intend to actually use it as he planned. You know how the story ends. I was forced to study how to make the parasites compatible with all the world's languages. All but English.
However, he in fact secretly isolated an English strain.
I will not be held prisoner by the man's phantom. The English strain must not be allowed to exist either.
Honestly, I don't know why I bought that outfit for Quiet, because I don't really have a lot of money right now. No, I wish you could cancel things. Can you cancel things? If I can, I'd like to cancel that. I don't need that. No, I want the outfit, but it costs a fuckload of money. And also, this fucking mission in Afghanistan, really? Really? You're making me go from all three end points of the fucking map? I think we'll use the cardboard box movement thing, trying that out. See if that allows us to get around. So otherwise that's going to be horrendous. Nope, can't cancel it. Oh well.
Oh, at least we're using this area for something else.
2. Roger that. You gotta extract him. According to the intel team, the escaped kids should be around here. Locate and secure them.
I wasn't expecting it to be a fucking bear guarding the child. But it is interesting. But it is a shame that this area is only used for quiet. Because again, like, there's so much you can do in this area, it's so cool. How did you get up here? Presumably the kid came up here to escape the bear? How did you get here? And how do I get you down? How do I get him down?
Boss, you killed a child. I'm aborting this mission.
According to the intel team, the escaped kids should be around here. Locate and secure them.
Oh boy.
Whole lot of trouble they put us through. Ugh, making me worry like that.
Brilliant. She should be able to trank them.
Fire. Fire.
Oh,
Boss,
God.
come here.
How did a fool kill us?
Boss?
We've survived fools like 10 times that length, I swear. I really thought I'd be okay there. Well, let's do it again. Fuck it, why not? Never mind, we're good. Alright, I can totally drive down here, but then we'd have to go all the way from here, all the way over to there, and that's like a fucking... Even if we don't stop, that's like a 10-minute drive.
I have no doubt Skullface's plan is almost complete. At that point, I will no longer be of use to him. I must leave behind this record at least. A record of how the ancient vocal cord parasites became these abominable ethnic cleansing parasites. I believe he has two purposes for the ethnic cleansing parasites. The first, as their name suggests, is ethnic cleansing. This conflict between East and West that envelops the world will not last much longer. Once the Cold War ends, and the weight of America and the Soviet Union is lifted away, the ethnic conflicts they kept suppressed will all rise to the surface. It is not difficult to imagine that the radical sides will begin cleansing their adversaries. But what if an ethnic cleansing parasite matching the language of the aggressors were to be unleashed? The aggressors would be washed off the earth. At the very least, the idea that retaliation could eradicate your people would prove a powerful deterrent. The second purpose is the Englishization of the world. To cipher the organization, this is probably their main use.
Soldier. A lot of them came from Central Asia before, but lately they've been using more and more Russians. Simple, really. There's less hesitation to pull the trigger if they're not fighting their own race. Morbid cynicism, but it gets results. That's humanity for you.
Vocal cord parasites became this abominable is ethnic cleansing. This conflict between East and quest that envelops the world will not last much longer. Once the Cold War ends, and the weight of America and the
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
ethnic conflicts they kept suppressed will all rise to the surface. It is not difficult to
You gonna extract him?
that the radical side will begin cleansing their adversaries. But what if an ethnic cleansing parasite matching the language of the aggressors were to be unleashed? The aggressors would be washed off the earth. At the very least, the idea that retaliation could eradicate your people would prove a powerful deterrent. The second purpose is the Englishization of the world. To cipher the organization, this is probably their main use. Man thinks in words, or rather, words are man's very means of thinking. If you erase a word representing some concept, the concept itself disappears from the world. Nishone means beautiful in Navajo, but the image that comes to mind when we say Nishone differs from the Blagana's beautiful. An azure sky, a rolling landscape, lush greenery. The meaning we place in Neshone has its roots in Dene culture. If we lose the word Neshone, the images of our beautiful land would be washed away into oblivion along with it.
Where are your friends?
Just as Orwell indicated years ago, Cypher, being based in America, is pushing Englishization for this very reason. Suppose all 5 billion people on this planet come to read, speak, and think in English.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Be streamlined under English. Cypher's control would be all the easier. Economic governance would progress in leaps and bounds. The ethnic cleansing parasites would be a great aid in accomplishing this goal. There is no need to destroy every language besides English. All they need to do is weaken other dominant languages.
This fucking video game. Why is that an option? Why is it an option? And why is it an option the game fucking defaults to when you're trying to Fulton someone? Fucking hell. Now we've lost where we were in fucking cassette tape. Fuck me.
I have no at that point. Mine when we say Nishone differs from the Blagana's beautiful. An azure sky, a rolling landscape, lush greenery. The meaning we place in Nishone has its roots in Dene culture. If we lose the word Nishone, the images of our beautiful homeland would be washed away into oblivion along with it. Just as Orwell indicated years ago, Cypher, being based in America, is pushing Englishization for this very reason. Suppose all 5 billion people on this planet come to read, speak, and think in English. Their wills could also be streamlined. Cypher's control would be all the easier.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Progress in leaps and bounds. The ethnic cleansing parasites would be a great aid in accomplishing this goal. There is no need to destroy every language besides English.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Weaken other dominant languages competing with it. Russian, Chinese, Arabic. If people know they risk their lives speaking such languages,
He's coming too. Roger that.
need not even focus attention on smaller languages. After all, area of global society. I can see this when I look at Yamtene. Some of them have already lost their grasp of the Navajo language. It is said that over 2,000 languages of the world are facing extinction. This very moment,
He's coming too. Roger that.
forms of expression are disappearing forever. The spread of electronic networks gives greater meaning to Englishization. Networks have no national borders. By basing them on a single language, they can penetrate deeper into and between people. That basic point of unity provides the ideal environment for someone who aims to control people's wills. But how does this differ from building the Tower of Babel?
You gotta extract him.
The ethnic cleansing parasites attempt to rob man of his words. Such irony. It was the vocal cord parasite.
He's coming too. Roger that.
In the first place, ancient man had no language. Unable to produce complex sounds due to the structure of the throat, he could communicate
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
in gestures. The vocal cord parasites infected his larynx. Man's transition to walking upright did not gift him solely with intelligence, but also with his voice. At the time, the vocal cord parasites,
You gotta extract him.
they merely took a small measure of nourishment. In fact, you could call it a symbiotic relationship. Some animal species use particular vocalization patterns to attract a female and reproduce. Songbirds, certain insects, and also the vocal cord parasites. The difference is that the parasites themselves did not produce sounds. Rather, they had their hosts, man, do it for them. Once secure on the human host vocal cords, a male vocal cord parasite caused the host to produce a certain sound pattern, something like a warble of a bird. Meanwhile, females parasitizing other host pharynxes need only wait. Upon hearing the sound pattern of an attractive mate, they would manipulate their hosts into making contact with the person it came from. The female traveled through his host's saliva to the other host's vocal cords, where the male was waiting and the pair copulated. We can only imagine how the female manipulated his host, but it was probably through smell. Smells traveled directly to the limbic system via
This could actually link back to how they become zombies later.
compounds released by the female.
Maybe they actually have direct link to a brain. How have I fucked it?
Instincts, making the host feel amorous. This kind of sexual selection naturally led to competition between the male parasites. Males that had their hosts produce sounds perceived by females as more attractive succeeded in copulating and producing offspring. Evolutionary traits caused by sexual selection are curious. The peacock's feathers, the mannequin's dance, the firefly's luminescence pattern. Even with courtship behaviors that are not advantageous to survival, those individuals that excel in them produce offspring, and it escalates with each generation. The same was true of the vocal cord parasites. Courtship vocalization rhythms and intonations became more sophisticated, and in order for man to produce such sounds, they had to alter his vocal organs by lowering the position of the larynx and developing resonating chambers. They enabled more complex pronunciations, but that was not all. The vocal cord parasites activated a transcription factor that would later
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
a protein that, due to its appearance, is called 4-kit box protein P2, or FOX-P2.
Oh, for God's
You gotta
sake.
extract him.
Of course it comes back to
Led to the
Fox.
development of brain function capable of creating sophisticated frequency changes. This was the pinnacle of the vocal cord parasite's prosperity. However, this sophisticated pronunciation control was too useful for man to ignore. Once human sexual activity ceased to be only seasonal, and having lost pigment-based sexual characteristics, distinctive vocalizations became the most effective means for humans to attract mates as well, combined with logic pathways hardwired into the brain.
According to the intel team, the escaped kids should be around here. Locate and secure them.
This was the birth of language. Luckily for man, it was around this time that a particular retrovirus was circulating. While not lethal, it infected not only
Sniper, stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
part of the parasite.
You said Skullface ordered you to but you also... How?
That I cannot. To my earth one day. From that day forward, the F-Such into making the female manipulated his host, but it was probably through smell. Smells traveled directly to the limbic system via the olfactory cilia.
According to the intel team, the escaped kids should be around here. Locate and secure them.
Stimulate the limbic system, which controls instincts, making the host feel amorous. This kind of sexual selection naturally led to competition between the male parasites. Males that had their hosts produce sounds perceived by females as more attractive succeeded in copulating and producing offspring. Evolutionary traits caused by sexual selection are curious. The peacock's feathers, the mannequin's dance, the firefly's luminescence pattern. Even with courtship behaviors that are not advantageous to survival, those individuals that excel in them produce offspring, and it escalates with each generation. The same was true of the vocal cord parasites. Courtship vocalization rhythms and intonations became more sophisticated, and in order for man to produce such sounds, they had to alter his vocal organs by lowering the position of the larynx and developing resonating chambers. They enabled more complex pronunciations, but that was not all. The vocal cord parasites activated a that would later control man's language ability. A protein that, due to its appearance, is called forkhead box protein P2, or FOXP2. Activating this transcription factor led to the development of brain function capable of creating sophisticated frequency changes. This was the pinnacle of the vocal cord parasite's prosperity.
You gotta extract him.
This sophisticated pronunciation control was too useful for man to ignore. Once human sexual activity ceased to be only seasonal, and having lost pigment-based sexual distinctive vocalizations became the
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
to attract mates as well. Combined with logic pathways hardwired into the brain, or universal grammar. It was not long before advanced communication.
He's coming too. Roger that.
This was the birth of language. Luckily for man, it was around this time that a particular retrovirus was circulating. While not lethal, it infected not only man, but the vocal cord parasites as well. It is presumed that this virus removed part of the parasite. DNA and reverse transcribed it into man's reproductive cells. It was a vector. Among the genes it transcribed were the ones responsible for the production of language. The vocal cord parasite's vocalization genes were written into the human genome. The parasites were no longer of any use to man now. Man could use his voice as he pleased, when he pleased.
You gonna extract him?
Parasites' horrific vocalizations. Having lost their opportunity to reproduce, the parasites died out, leaving behind only the transcribed genes. The vocal cord parasites were once in symbiosis with man. Its genes even became a part of his. Humans and parasites are extremely close. As such, it will be extremely difficult for man.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Vocal cord parasites. Even cutting them out will be no simple matter. Which is exactly why these ethnic cleansing parasites are such a formidable weapon. The rise of the vocal cord parasites goes back
You gonna extract him?
300 million years to the Permian period. At that time, they were not even parasites, but predatory autotrophs. They are believed to have been the common ancestor to the Pentastomida and the Cyclops genus of copepods. However, Earth's environment underwent a violent change at the end of the Permian period. The cause is unclear, but evidence suggests that over 90% of organisms at that time died out. The most pronounced threat to the protoparasites was the severe reduction in oxygen concentration. The result was cladogenesis, a splitting that gave birth to a new strain that could parasitize other organisms' respiratory apparatus. This survival tactic helped lower their oxygen consumption, and inhabiting the throat kept them securely in contact with inhaled air. The survivors were those that parasitized the reptiles that flourished at the time. Entering the Triassic period, the reptiles evolved into dinosaurs, and the protoparasites shared in their success. Dinosaurs developed respiratory organs called air sacs to adapt to the low oxygen environment. These in particular helped the protoparasites thrive. But another trial awaited them.
He's coming too. Roger that.
A drastic change in the Earth's environment. For most parasites, the male and female take the same host. Many are, in fact, hermaphrodites.
You gonna extract him?
Originally, the vocal cord parasites were as well. But for any strain to ride out a severe environmental change, it must secure a steady pool of genetic diversity.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Now, the newest strain procreated with mates found in other hosts. And in order to increase its encounters with those mates, the new strain utilized the voice of its host. It
You gonna extract him?
the host's vocal cords. This truly was the birth of the vocal cord parasite. The parasites developed the host's pharynx to form resonating chambers and used them to produce sophisticated mating calls. The relatively upright posture of the dinosaurs was important in this, because the crooked L-shaped pharynx was more suited to the development of resonating chambers. These developments ushered in a time of great prosperity for the parasites. But for the third time, the parasites had a major hurdle to overcome. The meteorite impact at the end of the Cretaceous period, which spelled the end of the dinosaurs.
Okay, subject is in.
The vocal cord parasites had no option but to find a new habitat. Birds as genetic successors to the dinosaurs with functioning air sac apparatus already in place. Birds were the perfect choice. But the parasites could not survive in birds that flew at high altitudes with thinner air. So they parasitized ground-dwelling birds and altered their respiratory system for the sake of reproduction. They gave the birds the means to produce sophisticated sounds, the syrinx responsible for chirping. This is the proof that points to activation of FOXP2 in songbirds as well as humans. The Cenozoic era began with a rise in oxygen concentration, which helped mammals to evolve and increase in size. The parasites then shifted to humans as a more effective host. Humans' bipedal upright walking meant that our throats could support larger resonating chambers. At first, vocal cord parasites entered humans using birds as their intermediate host. But eventually they changed to conducting their entire life cycle within human hosts. What happened next is as I have already described. People took the vocalizing prowess given them by the parasites and made it language. And once the parasites could no longer use it as their mating call, they died out. Or in other words, the parasites overcame all evolutionary hurdles except humanity. Skullface shared his opinion on this matter. He said the Ethnic Cleansers Project was sure to succeed. After all, the parasites had a grudge against us humans. To think we awoke them after such a long slumber, just so they could sate their thirst for vengeance. It is terrible, unforgivable, and yet it is what I have done. I learned of the vocal cord parasite's existence in literature belonging to the Foundation. It was little more than a theory. The question was, why does only Homo sapiens among all primates have highly developed language? Human versus everything else. The missing link between these was the mystery that gave rise to this theory. I was fascinated by the idea of their existence in the creation myth. The Neotne, who first inhabited the world, were insect-like creatures. I came to imagine that those insect-like creatures could be humans living in symbiosis with the vocal cord parasites. But I had not the faintest idea of how I could resurrect them. That is when Skullface came to me. What he offered me was not just assistance with my metallic archaea research. He told me the vocal cord parasites really existed. And not only did they exist, they had already been brought back to life in the modern age. An ancient human cadaver, host to the parasites of the time. Cypher excavated such a cadaver from a permafrost region and isolated the DNA coding of the vocal cord parasites. Naturally, they were long dead and could not be brought back, but there was an alternate vessel they could use. A relative species of the Pentastamida discovered in China. It had adapted to live in the nasal cavity of animal hosts, but its genetic sequence showed signs of common ancestry with the vocal cord parasites. Ontogenesis, the path of an organism to maturity, is like a roadmap of the phylogenetic evolution of the entire strain. Cypher used this to effect a reverse evolution of the modern parasite and resurrect the vocal cord parasites. They interposed a developmental It was little of the modern parasite and resurrect the vocal cord parasites. Development is analogous when the relative species first appeared. The point at which it
Roger.
vocal cord parasites, forcing its evolution down the other path. The vocal cord parasite path. The larvae is produced by the vocal cord parasites. Reborn. I do not know in detail how Cypher accomplished this, but clearly they have access to high-level genetic technologies. Skullface said it was the work of a genius woman scientist, and that the relative species in question was first discovered by a group once called the Philosophers. I was tasked with modifying the resurrected parasites. He charged me with two demands. First, to add lethality to these organisms that had once lived in peace with man, by unleashing the larvae's latent desire to consume nutrients from the host's lung tissue, making them eat and eat until the lungs were destroyed. Second, to have both male and female. I learned from the host's lung tissue, making them eat and eat until the lungs were destroyed. Second, to have both male and female inhabit the same host and copulate then and there, only when exposed to specific pronunciations continuously over an extended time. What he would do to the Dene if I failed. I had no choice. Originally, the ultimate objective of the ethnic cleansing parasite project was the identification of not only languages, but of actual cultures. Language is deeply connected to ethnicity, but many languages are employed by multiple ethnic groups, and confrontation between those ethnic groups is by no means rare. If the cleanser parasites were to be a deterrent against ethnic conflict, they had to distinguish between groups using means other than pure language. The original plan called for this to be achieved by differences in the transmission vector. Each ethnic group has different lifestyle customs and eating habits. For instance, parasites living in shallow water and taken in through the skin could be used to target rice farming groups. parasites, using cows as their intermediate host would be ineffective against cultures that abstain from eating beef. But that is... Oh, indeed. The current parasites mainly rely on droplet transmission. It would take extensive time to alter the transmission route. I eventually learned that the Ethnic Cleansers project had been shut down. It was Skullface.
To us.
Back into operation. But despite that, he told me to forget about the transmission route and just focus on language identification. I do not know why. I understand that the Chinese philosophers who discovered the relative species of parasite originally planned to develop a phonogrammic Alexia parasite. The left temporal parietal region is home to the part of the brain that identifies the phonetic symbols of the English language. They wished to...
He's coming too. Roger that.
...region and suppress its literacy functions. The brain area responsible for identifying the logographs of Chinese, meanwhile, is in the left middle frontal gyrus, meaning that even if native speakers of Chinese were infected with the parasite, the literacy would be unaffected. Old and new, east and west, there is no limit to the delusions of those in power. But this delusion threatens to become a reality. I have to do something to stop this. There must be something I can do. Skullface has finally burned out. The world is rid of his existence at last.
Was he still alive?
You could say that. But you could also say he'd been dead for decades.
What's that supposed to mean?
Biologically speaking, it's hard to say how much was his life.
Side effects from the treatment?
No, the primary effect. Keeping a dying host alive as long as possible. That is the whole point. But in the end, he grew too dependent on his children. As if he had any other way to keep on living. He first underwent parasite therapy before the Soviet Union became his home. His body was horribly burned. Fire washed across his thin young frame and stole his skin and his throat, even his lungs. Only through repeated therapies could the parasites keep him alive. Most of his life became something the parasites gave to him.
And then he lost the ability to die.
That is correct. The parasites live on past the host's death, still aiding cell composition. At that stage, there is no way to extract them from the host cells. There is no way of knowing when the last cell of Skullface's body would die. The only choice was to burn the whole thing. And his children, along with it. And I am one to talk. When my life is snuffed out, I expect you to treat...
According to the intel team, the escaped kids should be around here. Locate and secure them.
I will truly be one with my children for the first time. You say there were 3 English vocal parasites?
According to Skullface, yeah.
Skullface had 2 of the English strain with him. You burned both of them.
There was an oil fire. I tossed him in.
So that just leaves 1. And you tell me Skullface said he used it.
He said it was very close to me.
Very close. One of your comrades, or someone ordered to kill you. Or he could have been speaking metaphorically.
Metaphorically.
Close to your spirit, close to your heart. Someone who either loves you or despises you.
The second one makes a long list.
Whichever it is, act with caution. Skullface implanted someone with the English language strain. Who it is irrelevant.
Why?
I tell you what Skullface really meant. Very close to you means you will be exposed. All the infected here have been given the Wolbachia. Even if the vocal cord parasites infect them now, they cannot reproduce. But if there's a different host among us, host to the English strain,
If that were the case, we'd see the symptoms.
what about the non-English speakers?
We have plenty of those, but the staff use English as a common language.
But if that someone has not spoken English yet, and begins to speak it now,
There'd be another outbreak.
the final mating pair of the English strain must be found immediately. Skullface is gone, but his threat still remains. On this base, do you see what the final mating pair is? With him dead, those parasites are the stain he wished to leave upon the world. His thirst for vengeance. In their flesh. Think. Does anyone here bear a grudge against you? Who would target you, specifically?
The ethnic cleansers that Code Talker mentioned, they weren't Skullface's true goal. All we have is circumstantial evidence, but here's my theory. It was Cypher who started developing the vocal cord parasites as bioweapons, parasitic weapons, and Africa was the testing ground for them. As Code Talker said, their purpose is the ethnic cleansing of only those who speak a particular language. So they could do a weapon of mass destruction to eradicate specific groups, races, ethnicities, or colonies by the language they speak. Or a kind of absolute language control. Or maybe a tool for those arrogant fools to build some misguided
You gonna extract him?
I can see plenty of uses for them. However, in practical terms, they wouldn't be as dangerous as you'd think. Counteracting the parasites is easy, after all. Cut them out of your throat to save your life, or just don't talk. That also prevents the infection from spreading. So if the international community were to find out about them, they'd no longer be the threat they were conceived to be. In which case, their targets would be limited to minority groups as a deterrent or a terrorist tool. It's hard to imagine Cypher developing something like that as a main weapon for their arsenal. That leads me to think we've only tugged on one little thread in Cypher's grand tapestry. An obscure corner of their work, possibly forgotten altogether. In any case, things changed. When Skullface was forced to relocate to Africa and he saw that thread dangling. All the time he continued that research, he was secretly following his own agenda. The ethnic liberator parasites, his English language strain. Skullface said there were only 3 samples of the English language strain parasite, and I think we can believe him. Bringing his ethnic liberator's plan to fruition depended on creating an English version of the vocal cord parasites at all costs. But an English strain would have been useless to Cypher. Worse, it could have destroyed everything they'd built. It was the one type they couldn't allow. That means Skullface was forced to develop his English strain out of sight of Cypher's network. Naturally, he couldn't use the greenhouse facility Cypher had set up and filled with guinea pigs. Skullface must have found some secret place to create his precious few English parasites, hiding all evidence like a man cheating on his wife. Somewhere, an entirely standalone environment. And when his plan entered its final phase, he must have made the place disappear. Some little room, could be anywhere, but now nowhere at all. We'll never know where he did it. But to elude Cypher's surveillance, it couldn't have been big. I believe Skullface was telling the truth. There were were only ever 3 samples of the English language strain. Why activate Sahelanthropus in Afghanistan? This is how Skullface wanted things to play out. The Soviet Union secretly develops a new type of nuclear weapon and successfully deploys it in Afghanistan. Revealing the existence of Sahelanthropus results in a return to the glory days of the Cold War.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Ignites the nuclear arms race between the world's major powers. The demand for nuclear weapons increases around the globe. What if you then introduced a nuclear weapon?
He's coming too. Roger that.
Hands up. Non-nuclear nations, militant groups of all shapes and sizes, they'd all jump at the chance. Sahelanthropus was a marketing tool to sell nukes all around the world. But I think it's safe to
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
before it got up and running. The world's intelligence agencies never did turn up anything conclusive on it. After all, Sahelanthropus vanished before word could spread. Everything that's happened is already a fading memory, never to join the pages of history. Except for Cypher. Cypher won't forget. They'll already be working on something, quietly, beneath the surface. They'll use the pieces of data scraped together from this incident to build their own bipedal weapon. It'll take them a long time to complete it, but for now, the Greed sector have found their new life's work. We'll have to be ready too. Hewitt's dug up some interesting facts about our skull-faced friend. 9 years ago, he was exiled to South Africa, stripped of political power. The upshot's that he ceased being a serious threat, in Cypher's eyes anyway. They eased up on surveillance, giving him an opening to establish his own military unit, one that answered to his will alone. Those men likely had no idea their orders were coming from...
He's coming too. Roger that.
He didn't even know the organization was a part of Cypher at all. Anyway, it was in South Africa where he found renewed interest in parasites. And when he discovered the vocal cord parasites, he began to make his plan. Wipe the English language out of existence. Free the world, not by taking men's lives, but by taking their tongues. In his eyes, the greatest symbiotic parasite the world's ever known isn't microbial. It's linguistic. Words are what keeps civilization, our world, alive.
There was something Skullface said. America is made up of many peoples, but those peoples never mix. Quite so.
You gotta extract him.
Home to hundreds of different ethnic groups, many of whom stick to their respective living areas. Little colonies, not interacting with other groups. Going out of their way to avoid...
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Organizations, relationships. Thus, the United States of America is no melting pot. It is more of a salad bowl. It is not made up from one people, but for its minorities to function in society, a common ground is needed. Language. Even if the country is not one. No, because it's not one. A lingua franca is necessary. English.
Boss, I've updated the mission list. We received a new job offer. The details are on your iDroid.
Diverse ethnicities. In taking in people from around the globe, America became a microcosm of it. Now the boundaries between it and the rest of the world have become blurred. However different our neighbors may be, English enables us to create symbiotic relationships with each other. If English can bring unacquainted neighbors together in America, this should hold true for the world. This salad bowl that is the world can also become one. not money or land. It is the number of individuals under his control. Subjects who work, consume, are there to be used as pawns in war. For a capitalist ruler, his people's power becomes his power. You are the same with your diamond dogs. You spin it with your speeches, but what you're doing is bringing as much talent as you can into your little domain. Every person another feather in your cap. Yes, since ancient times, every civilization's ruler has had the same idea. When people unite under one will, they become stronger than the sum of their parts. And the one will is the ruler's will. And what do rulers use to bring people together? Language. In the Old Testament, it is written that only one language was spoken in Eden. A shared tongue that united all of humanity. Mankind eventually grew aware of its power and harnessed that strength to build a tower to the heavens. The mighty Tower of Babel. This angered God, who splintered the language of man, and the tower was never completed. Languages emerged, and the earth was divided as men went their separate ways. Every age is the same. A ruler's first order of business, after conquering new land, is to force his tongue on its people. Ancient Rome, Napoleon, and now Zero. English is wreaking havoc around the world right now. The British Empire tilled the land with war as its hoe, then began planting the seed that is English. Eventually, American capitalism became the new instrument. To play its game of wealth, you only have to abide by one rule: English. By exploiting people's desires, English has become a leash that people gladly wear around their necks, it would seem.
CFA are assembling an armored column to the north of Nova Braga Airport. Your job is to wipe them out. Listen to the tape for the contract details. Just be aware that the column's commander served with 5 Commando and later made a name for himself in South Africa's 32 Battalion. He's a hardened veteran, so don't take him lightly. Boss, I have a report from the intel team. The targets are now on the move. I've sent their predicted route to your iDroid. Check your map.
That went shockingly badly. Let's bring the tank. I was thinking, should we bring the tank? No, it's probably going to be mission objective to Fulton them. And it probably is. But that went shockingly bad. Do I still get charged for redeployment cost there? Right, I mean, the thing is, we're not going to get many opportunities to use these tanks, so might as well. It is also most likely an objective to eliminate them before they reach the target destination.
The CFA are assembling an armored column to the north of Nova Braga Airport. Your job is to wipe them out. Listen to the tape for the contract details. Just be aware that the column's commander served with 5 Commando and later made a name for himself in South Africa's 32 Battalion.
It also sounds like we want to find that guy rather than kill him. It also says there's a helicopter involved.
The targets are now on the move. I've sent their predicted route to your iDroid. Check your map.
I was thinking I could maybe hang him a chopper and use the gun, but nah, we won't have an angle. Right, this will be interesting. It's interesting that it has a limited amount of ammo, but it's just like a really large amount of it. Wait until we have eyes on both. Really? Really?
Snake,
Okay.
talk to me! Snake!
Actually, you know what? I have a better idea.
The CFA are assembling an armored column to the north of Nova Braga Airport. Your job is to wipe them out.
Okay, so this is basically a sequel to a shitty fucking mission in Afghanistan. Let's just block the road. Okay, reset.
The CFA are assembling an armored column to the
Just
north
block
of
the road and
Nova
then
Braga Airport.
sneak up on them
Your
Fulton.
job is to wipe them out.
Though we do not have a lot of time to execute it.
The CFA are assembling an armored column to the north of Nova Braga Airport. Your job is to wipe them out.
God fucking... Why does this tank?
The CFA are assembling an armored column to the north of Nova Braga Airport. Your job
Why does this get so
is
much
to wipe
faster
them out.
the moment I get out of it? Go. Good, that'll work. Okay, better wait a second. Hopefully. Bosh. I wasn't expecting him to just do that.
We have new targets. Check your iDroid for the details.
Okay. So there we go, there's 2 targets done.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Flamethrower blueprint. I kinda want that. Also, it blew up in one shot. Okay, we want to take out these troops before they arrive, so we don't have to deal with both. But they're already pretty close. And now we have explosive barrels to potentially help us out.
Leave the rest to us.
Okay, what vehicle is that? It's a tank. Okay, where are we planning to... where are we going to stop? Wish I was prompted to actually get on it. Oh, remember the tank boss fight in Metal Gear Solid 1? That was fun. Oh, there you go.
Nice work, boss. The targets are almost history.
Right, it would
He's
appear we've done
coming
a
too.
pretty decent
Roger
job.
that.
Okay, gunship coming. Well, we probably should have asked someone about that flamethrower blueprint. I just assumed it would be here.
I've updated the info on your iDroid. Take a look. Just one target left. That's an enemy gunship. Don't try to take down a gunship from the front. You won't win in a head-to-head shootout. Try to get behind it and take it down with missiles. Flawless work. You never cease to
Hot
amaze,
damn.
boss.
This mission went pretty well. I mean, we lost a tank, but we also gained 2 tanks. Jesus Christ. We did a pretty good job. Didn't get the flamethrower though. Okay, there's still 3 missing objectives. I bet something's going on down here. Yeah, that's cinematic. Right, let's check out Nova Braga. Because I want a flamethrower. I have a feeling that's a... What the fuck are they called? The D-Walker. I have a feeling that's a D-Walker upgrade. Brilliant. Okay, hold on. Apparently the gunship we just took down has a blueprint in it. I don't know if we can collect it because it kind of blew the fuck up. I wouldn't have thought the blueprint would survive that, but apparently what you have to do is blow it up and then go pick it up. I'm glad I googled that. Is there any reason to go to Nova Braga, or is it just bait? Because I don't want to voluntarily go to Nova Braga, but it doesn't seem that busy. If that's all she found from scouting, then... How's it already 7:30? I've got a baguette after dinner. I haven't talked that much about graduation. There isn't really much to talk about. It was fun. Better than I was expecting. I think it like crashed right on top of this. There we go. No, right, sure, put by Nova Braga. I suppose this is why I haven't been talking much, because I've been listening to these tapes.
Ya'at-e. You disappoint me. Have you forgotten my face?
Leave me be.
You won't respond to anyone else, so I figured it must be me you wanted to see. But now you won't even look at me.
Have I not suffered enough?
Not until you've eased my suffering first. To tell you the truth, old man, I'm in a bit of a bind. It's about your children. You know what I mean? The parasites. The ones that infect a man's throat, killing him if he speaks their language.
They must not be allowed to multiply.
You are allowed to live only in order to help me. But you don't want to, do you? So why not choose death instead? Because you want to protect the Diné and their land from me. That's your purpose, isn't it? Don't lose sight of that now. It's in your interest to cooperate. Because if you don't...
Madness.
The parasites can't detect your people's tongue. So I'll just have to resort to more heavy-handed means. I have the greatest respect for your people. I would rather avoid such a thing, but... we don't always get our way. I was born a tiny mote in a mighty tempest. And
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
All I can choose is how to act when they blow me this way or that. Tell me, code talker, what happens to a man infected with a pair of your parasites? Can they be removed? Can the full-blown symptoms be prevented?
It is impossible to remove the parasites alone. They have too close an affinity with humans.
Then how do you stop the symptoms from developing? All right. I was hoping for an answer now, but perhaps you just need a little more time. I'll be back soon.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Not far from here. We'll be seeing a lot more of each other.
If you're close by, then it is almost complete.
We're in the final phases. All that's left is to see if I can actually disable a nuke, with the help of your metallic archaea. Once that's done, I won't have to return here again. And your suffering will end. As will your people's. We're almost finished, Code Talker. Each in our own way.
My only regret will be not finishing you.
There's nothing stopping you. I'm only alive because you want me that way.
Ridiculous.
As you wish.
My regret is this misunderstanding between us. You and I, our goal is the same.
We should be working together. A symbiosis.
You do not know my mind. I simply want the Diné bloodline to endure.
You gotta extract him.
Really now? You're just another mote in the store. How you react to all the slings and arrows, that's what counts. That's why you call those squirming monsters your children.
What I have done is forbidden. Forgive me, all of you.
The world should be...
Roger that.
You of all men should know that.
You gotta extract him.
Forgive me, but my schedule has changed. The time for grace and good manners has now run out.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Which will not work on me. Surely you know this.
Oh, I have no intention of getting rough with you. You haven't been beaten. Your hands aren't even tied. Just like me, you live in symbiosis with countless parasites. What wounds I might inflict, they'll patch right up. You might feel considerable pain, but I've no doubt you can withstand it.
Then what do you plan on doing?
I have a soldier standing outside. Nothing special about him, except that he always obeys. I have given him one instruction. Whenever I ring this bell, he passes...
You gotta extract him.
That message is simply, go.
What is this?
After that, though, it gets complicated. The message will arrive at a room, a little bigger than this one. Nothing special. Some of your people are in this room, surrounded by my men.
Enough of this.
They pick them at random. No regard for age, gender. In that, I suppose, they're different from you. Not as discriminating. They tied them up, one by one, blindfolded them. We had to maintain order, you understand?
You bastard.
Go. When they hear that, my men will pick one of your people and infect them with a parasite. Your parasite.
It won't work on my people.
True. The vocal cord parasite doesn't respond to your language. But what about English?
An English strain. It exists.
A ring of this bell, and they infect one person. If that person abandons the Navajo language, the English strain will trigger symptoms.
You monster.
So, it's quite simple. Every time I ring the bell, another of your people is infected.
Don't do this.
I don't want to do this. I'd rather not have to ring the bell. Which is why I'm hoping you will talk to me.
What do you want? What else could you possibly want?
You know the answer to that. How to prevent the symptoms caused by the parasite.
You cannot control it like some slave. Forget the idea.
Forget it. Unlikely.
I will never tell you. What have you done?
You made me do that.
You black-hearted...
Settle down.
Don't use it again.
Well, that is up to you. All you need to do is tell me what I want. How to prevent the vocal cord parasite symptoms.
Why? Why do you need to know?
The adult soldiers at Gualayamasa are all dead.
What?
The parasite traveled downstream.
How?
It would appear that he was involved. Another demon who woke up from 9 years of slumber. As a result, the vocal cord parasite spread through the village.
I told you this would happen.
It was an unfortunate accident. He is becoming an annoyance. He may stumble upon the truth sooner or later, but I suppose that is really of no consequence. One day, he too will pay for what he has done.
Black Anna. The real demon is you.
You know, this incident made me realize something. You are right.
Roger.
I should have acted with more humility. These creatures cannot be controlled. All the more reason I require a means to stop them.
There is no such way.
Oh, really?
Wait! Don't ring it again.
It is up to you. Out with it!
I see now. There must be more to it than that.
What?
They are in you. You use this land to breed more of my children. And not just here. No. In pursuit of your ethnic cleansers. You sifted through many language strains. Finding hosts. Breeding more and more. You would have been infected in the process. Infected with countless strains. Most likely your mother tongues as well. Romania, Northern Transylvania. You found that one too. Yes, the Hungarian strain. That responds to the CK's dialect.
Silence!
Black Anna. It is you who shall pay.
Is this your retaliation, old man?
Let my people go and never bother them again. You heard me. What now? No! What are you doing?
I am not afraid. I probably have every language strain inside of me. Meaning all the world's languages.
All right, you're out of the hot zone. No enemy forces in pursuit. Mission complete. Mission complete. Great work. Boss, as we suspected, the mastermind behind the kid's escape was Eli. It's hard to believe, but apparently he'd been plotting an armed uprising against us. He could be hiding something else, too. Ocelot's gonna press him for answers. Get back here as quick as you can.
We're not trapped in this loading screen, are we? It's by far the longest any of the game's loading screens have ever been. I'd rather not have to close down the game, so I don't know if that will save our progress. I'll give it a couple minutes. But I have a bad feeling we've somehow gotten soft locked. Alright. I'm Googling it and I can't find the solutions. We're just gonna have to close down the game. Well, cool stream, I guess.